Ellia, and my talk today is not a typical TED Talk like you would expect, but recently I went on a student exchange to Japan for around 1 month, so I figured I would use this opportunity to share about my time there. So I actually just returned on Saturday, so I'm still a bit jet lagged and my presentation is made pretty last minute, so my apologies. So I want to talk today about my school that I was at in Hokkaido, and also some of the differences between TEDyAinlay and my school there, and about some culture and general differences I experienced in the places, and also locations that I had the chance to visit. My presentation has a lot of pictures. So this is a picture of my school called Hokkaido Sapporo Intercultural and Technological High School, abbreviated as SIT. So I was studying in Sapporo, which is in Hokkaido, the northernmost island of Japan. And first impressions of the school is that it's pink, which is pretty fantastic, I think. And there's also 3 floors, so each grade had their respective floors. The third years were on the first floor, and the second years were on the second floor, and the first years were on the third floor. And another really remarkable thing about the school that I found, which, I mean, we don't see it a lot around our school, is that there's windows. It's pretty crazy. There's lots of windows everywhere. And from these windows, you can see very nice mountain views, also around the whole city. So, yeah, this is a pretty nice classroom. I really enjoyed having windows, yeah. So here's a top bird's eye view of my school, and you can see that there's a running track, which is pretty uncommon, I found, in schools there. There's a baseball diamond, there's a tennis court, gymnasium, and stage, a common area pictured here, which is, I would say, used similarly to TEDyAinlay's rotunda, except I didn't see a lot of students eating lunch there and stuff. Around the same area, there's a school store that sells food, snacks, pencils, notebooks, and also uniform parts, like if you forget your necktie, you can buy it. And here is a picture of a blackboard with stuff from my biology lesson. And blackboards are in most of the classrooms there, and no smartboard, so I thought that was interesting because in Edmonton, I would find that a lot of teachers are pretty reliant on smartboards for their lessons. So I thought this style of teaching was really effective and also pretty engaging, rather than it being a slideshow. It's done real time, yeah. The cubby there is shoes, so everyone has a pair of school-issued shoes, except I do not have a pair of school-issued shoes. But everyone has school-issued shoes, and also there's no lockers there, so students have hooks at the back of classrooms if they want to store their stuff. And so typically my day went taking the bus to school, and then everyone settles down in the homeroom for the day to be initiated, and then everyone also meets at homeroom at the end of the day. Also during those times, students do cleaning of the school, so mopping and cleaning whiteboards and stuff like that, stacking desks, and I thought that was a pretty effective way to clean the school, very efficient. Also, during the school, if you're walking around the hallway or something and you come across a teacher, you have to meet them or greet them and just say hello or good morning. And even if it's not a teacher who teaches you, I think this aspect was really important, and I think it should be integrated into schools in Alberta because it fosters a sense of respect towards teachers and acknowledging them when you come across them. So another very interesting thing I noticed, these pictures don't really relate anymore, but an interesting thing I noticed is that they don't really have a lot of drama. I find in high schools here, there's usually drama among students for whatever reason, but even explaining the word bullying to them, they didn't understand it. So I thought that was pretty remarkable. So here is a picture of me and my classmates. We wear uniforms, and no one is supposed to wear makeup, although I noticed people did it anyway. No accessories, however, people are allowed to style their hair and have hair accessories. So that was the main way that I think students had a means of expressing themselves in terms of personal style. And we also have a set of school sportswear and different shoes for outdoor activities. I thought the school sportswear was really cool. It was all ASICs. And the above picture is of SIT band. So I think it was, my school had this band. It was unique, and I think it's also pretty famous in Hokkaido because they do dancing and playing at the same time. And I was fortunate enough to watch one of their performances, and it was really amazing. I've never seen anything like it, and I think everyone should have the chance to experience something as good as that was. There was also tea ceremony club, flower arrangement, and different sports such as skiing, table tennis, and naginata, which is traditional sport, and koto, which is Japanese harp. This is a picture of my class, my homeroom, and there's 42 students in my homeroom. My smallest class, however, was only me and 2 other students and my teacher. The largest class was PE of 2 combined classes, so over 80 students, and typically classes like English or math that most people take were around 40 students. So now I'll share a bit about the experiences I had in the location itself. So this is a building, I think it was dated 1860, so traditional style of architecture. And this is just a picture of a street, and this is to show that the streets are very clean there. Public trash bins were very rare to see, however the streets are kept very clean. I don't think I saw any litter on the streets at all, so I really appreciate that. Next I'll talk about transit. So in the city that I was in, they had 3 subway lines as well as the Japan Railway line. And the buses are different there. So in Edmonton, you can enter either the middle or the front. And in Japan, everyone enters through the back door, and everyone exits through the front door to assure that people are paying the fare, which, I mean, I think I prefer ETS. That's a very surprising statement, but the trains there, though, are much better than LRT. LRT, it can go and you're gonna fall over, but the trains there are very speedy and very quiet, and no one really talks loudly or is obnoxious on transit, which is nice. And bikes are a very common way for people to commute here. And there are bike racks for my school is pictured over here. But the most interesting thing I found for biking is that no one really locked their bikes. So here's a picture of a public bike parking center where they had a few guards that sort of just walked around, but I think in Edmonton you can't get away with not locking your bike. It's gonna get stolen, so I think this was very nice. Convenience stores in Japan, I think they're pretty famous, and I would say that my experience at convenience stores lived up to what I had expected. So this is a picture of a snack aisle in a convenience store, and here's a meal that I got from a convenience store. So they have a lot of selection for food and other items. Convenience stores there are actually convenient, unlike Edmonton, and vending machines are all over, and the prices are very good. So in Ainlay, I think you can get like a bottle of water for $2.75 maybe, but no drinks in vending machines I saw were over $2 Canadian equivalent. I also have good food there. So here's some pictures of stuff that I got to try. And restaurant costs for food I found was much cheaper compared to Canada. You can get a meal for under $15 and a good portion too. And I think there's no tipping culture there either, so that also helped to lower costs if you're wanting to eat out. They also have typically plastic displays of food, which is really nice to have a visual of what you want to order. There's also souvenir stores all over, typically selling local sweets, but they were very, very common. I saw them a lot. This is a picture taken from Hokkaido Museum, which is a very good exhibit, very well done, and I learned from there, I think you can tie a lot of parallels from the history of Hokkaido and that of Canada. Like they both have fur trades and there's both indigenous cultures being encroached upon. Next I'll talk about the places that I went to. So this is the city that I was in, 2 million people, and this picture was taken from above the Olympic ski jump. So you can see the city looks pretty wide and there's not any recognizable skyline with skyscrapers or anything. I think the city was built with a central entertainment sort of downtown district, and then spreading out from there, lots of houses and establishments like schools and grocery stores. So here's more pictures. There's really nice green mountains all around the city, so I really appreciated having that view, because in Alberta you can't really see mountains. I mean Edmonton, you can see them from Calgary, but I think the mountains were very close to the city too. And also it was pretty windy in the city because the ocean is nearby as well. This is a picture of the entertainment district at night, so it's pretty lively, on the this side, there's the TV tower. It's called, so it has the clock, and it's lit up nicely at night. And this is from a sculptural park outside of Sapporo. I think this was one of my favorite views. This too. And the next place I went was Hakodate, which this view is supposed to be called the $1 Million Night View. Now, would I pay $1 million to see this? Probably not, but it's pretty nice. This is also in Hakodate. I went to see cherry blossoms. There's a very big park with sort of a moat and it's star-shaped. Lots and lots of cherry trees. I recommend visiting in this springtime. It's very amazing to experience. I also went to a city called Otaru and sort of historical district. So lots of older style architecture in the buildings. A big canal, older buildings on the streets. Going into the buildings, you could hear like the floorboards creaking and stuff. More pictures. And this is a lake and mountains. Very beautiful scenery around. I think that was one of my favorite parts of the exchange, is getting to see the different geography of different country. I really like that. I thought you could maybe see something like this in Alberta. Farmland and mountains. And the ocean. More cherry trees. This place was a natural spring, and the water was supposed to be really tasty there, but I didn't try it. But it looked cool. Okay, I'm finished presenting. Thank you for listening.